Welcome to Prasad Pod. I'm your host, Jarrell Prasad.
And I am your co-host, Paul Campbell.
So we got plenty of things to talk about today. A lot of things happening in the world. Trump's going to take office here in 2 days on Monday, January 20th. And I'm pretty excited for that because day one, he's made a lot of promises to set forth regulations for crypto. He also we're expecting Gary Gensler, the chairman of the SEC, to leave office the same day, and the new SEC chair to step in. And we're hoping that they drop the Ripple lawsuit the same day, and we can see the price of XRP skyrocket. So we're going to talk a little bit about XRP today. We got, this is our first episode for the new year, so Happy New Year 2025. And so we could just dive right in. Paul, how have things been?
Things have been good. Which is, well, let me back that up. Things in my life have been going well. If you've been watching the world, things look like everything's about to burn down, and the news would have you believe that everything is a catastrophe and we're all going to burst into flames any minute now. But that's what they want you to think, because they want you to.
It kind of feels like that, right?
Right. Well, it's always darkest before the dawn.
Yeah. Half the country is on fire, the other half's covered in ice. It's like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. Yeah, that's true. I mean, and well, what's going on in California is horrible, but like I can't help but notice that it's a lot of P. Diddy's friends that are having issues with their houses burning down. Of course, there's also your regular folks, but the Palisades, exactly, where the fires took place, there's a lot of people that attended a lot of parties there, and a lot of people that potentially had blackmail done to them or did it themselves to get in powerful places, because there's so many people in Hollywood that I think there's a lot of talented people too, but I mean, let's be honest, there's a lot of talented people all over the world, right? There's an old saying is that the best ones, whatever skill set it is, the best ones never make it. So then the question becomes, why do, certain people who are less talented or untalented, why do they make it, or get famous or get a record deal or whatever, get a movie deal? Oh, I discovered this person, and it's like, I know 3 guys at the local community theater that are a better actor than this yahoo. What's going on? So I think that, like we've talked about before with, dark Hollywood, I think, dark Hollywood just, in my opinion, they took the nuclear option to destroy a lot of evidence of, their crimes against humanity and the whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, you think that it was intentional? I mean, because there's like footage of people, just random people starting fires everywhere, and just so happens to be like things that could be implicated in evidence. Didn't Diddy's home burn down too?
Maybe it did. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if it did. And then, of course, they wouldn't mention that. They would mention, oh, it's this horrible thing, NFL moment of silence. But North Carolina has, 3-mile long lines for propane gas, and that they don't have. They're still a disaster area, and they're swept under the rug because now we got to feel bad for these millionaire celebrities who have 5 different houses that they can go to. But meanwhile, the everyday folks living in North Carolina, some of them still don't have electricity. So that's totally been brushed under the rug, and a million and one other things. Look at East Palestine. It was Ohio, right? It wasn't Illinois. I'm pretty sure it was Ohio.
Yeah, it's Ohio.
Where that train chemical explosion thing, that's still happening. There's, we can't give money to them, but we can still give money to Israel. We can still give money to Ukraine. I mean, so what I tell everybody is like this all, and it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, how come ever since Gavin Newsom became governor of California, California gets set on fire every 6 months, basically, like that,
Yeah, it's like crazy because I mean TikTok's about to go away, but every time I go on TikTok, it's like, oh, California is on fire. Oh, these terrible fires, and it looks like the apocalypse. But yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, it's just I mean, and then there's a lot of things going on with that, like the fire hydrants being empty, all the water shut off. That's the same stuff that happened with the Maui fires.
Yeah.
You just all of a sudden, the alarms weren't going off, the hydrants were empty. This is planned opposition. These nothing happens on this massive scale that's like coincidence. It's all planned. Is basically what I'm saying.
And yeah, you say it's mismanagement. I think this is the management. People call it mismanagement. No, I think this is intentional. Every time California declares a state of emergency, they get billions of dollars in federal relief funds, and that money is never audited. So where does it go? Nobody knows. But I mean, if they need to keep sucking money out of the federal government, the apparatus that is stealing our tax money, then yeah, this is how they would go about doing it. And it's funny, there's been fires before, but never on this level of frequency, this level of severity. And the weirdest thing is in the Palisades, there's this just kind of like, Central Park is in Manhattan, as they say. I say Manhattan because I'm, from Baltimore. But anyway, there's a Central Park, with tennis courts and basketball courts and all these trees and everything. They didn't burn down. Worst fire ever. Trees don't burn down, just like with Maui. You see, it looks like somebody took, an Etch-a-Sketch and just went out and took out all the houses, but all the trees are still green, right?
Yeah.
So very suspicious, very evidential, in my opinion, of directed energy weapons, because you'll see all these cars that are melted to nothing, but then right next to it will be a car with blue paint perfectly fine. And for whatever reason, that blue paint, whether it's a house that's painted blue or if it's a car that's painted blue, they don't get messed with, but everything else does. So again, it's not proof of anything, but it's evidence of things that we've been talking about for a while. And the motive, in my opinion, is it always comes back to money. There's always like 5 or 6 reasons why it could be. It could also be incompetence, or mismanagement. But like at the same time, if it's mismanagement, it's so egregiously incompetent that they should be held accountable. Whoever's in charge. If it's
Yeah.
just because of their actions or their lack of response caused this, or didn't prevent this. If it's
Yeah.
not, and it's orchestrated, that's 10 times worse, but equally as evil. So if I had, and isn't it funny? It's not, there's a lot of places where the fires could have happened, but it happened right where all those celebrities are, all those friends of P. Diddy, all those friends of Harvey Weinstein, all that stuff. And so yeah, then I saw something where it's like 1,600 in just in that area, 1,600 insurance plans were dropped. So like State Farm or whatever dropped 1,600 people like last year, right? And then which never
Yeah.
happened. They're going to take your insurance companies are always going to take your money. They're not going to just go, oh well, climate change, we can't insure your area anymore. That's and then that area of all places gets hit. That's
Yeah.
suspicious. So there's a lot of chicanery and suspicious things going on with that whole.
It just lets you know like how much corporations and big government and big business run the world and control things. And, I mean, you could feel small and powerless and, but it's up to the people to unify and make their voices heard. And, like with the TikTok ban, people come out in droves for TikTok, but, not for anything else, not for these fires, not for, um, the hurricanes, and not for, any other situation. But it's crazy, like the priorities that the super elites have. But I just want to encourage the people, like, even though the darkness of the world is out there, focus on Jesus Christ, and I want this podcast to explore that. And I want our listeners, just as much as we talk about XRP and improving your life, and invest in that opportunity, we're going to let you know that Jesus Christ is, the ultimate goal, the ultimate investment, that you should be focusing on that. Because when these dark times come in and things don't seem to be going your way, he's the only one that can save you and dig you out of that pit of despair. You should focus and direct all your energy towards our Heavenly Father. So just wanted to say that.
And yeah, and supplicate, ask for help. I got dinner with some friends the other day, and I had one friend say to me, "I'm a Christian. I just don't think the Bible is true." And I was like, "Well, okay, we can unpack that." And I told him I believe I'm sure our viewers have figured it out. I think the Bible is literally true, like every word of it. Okay,
Yeah.
and I don't think
I don't think it's um, it's the oldest book. It is the first book. It is, the first written document comprised of written facts and oral traditions, and it's time and time again, it's been proven right by history and science, and it's ahead of all of those. And history and science catches up to the Bible and be like, "Oh, the Bible's actually right. This fossil is here in this place, or this event actually took place." So, but it's opposition of the enemy to try and discredit and disprove the Bible, and it's just, but it's literal fact. And a lot of people that criticize the Bible and actually never actually opened it up and read it, and if they try to read it, they fall asleep or don't understand it, and they won't get through a chapter.
Yeah, I like the ones where the videos that I've found on plenty of places, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. I still call it Twitter. I'm never going to call it X. But where these, I saw one video where it was like a physicist, well, I understand how the universe mechanically works and the nature of reality. If you can operate it, it's real. If you can do something to it and it reacts, you know that it's real in the physical realm. And then they start to study the Bible. And I might have mentioned this before, but one physicist just checked all the cross references in the Bible of different authors from different times, different parts of the world, never meeting other authors who wrote books that are included in the Bible. And the cross references are so accurate for each other of either prophesying and saying that this event is going to happen and it does come to pass, or other guys referencing, things that have happened in the past, talking about things that will happen at the time of writing. The cross references are so, for lack of a better word, they're so tight, they're so accurate with one another that the likelihood of that happening randomly is something like 7 to the 14th power, or with 14 zeros after it.
Yeah, the best analogy of that, it's like trying to find a needle in China, like the whole state.
But
or the whole country.
The odds that all the air on Earth is going to turn to gold spontaneously is like 7 to the 10th power. So it's more likely that the air is going to turn to gold than it is that these cross references were just lucky. And then people will go, "Oh, well, anybody could have written it at any point in time." We have the archaeological evidence. These scrolls are so old. We know exactly when they were written, who wrote them, where, what type of writing implement they used. Nobody wants to look into that. But if you do, that's kind of almost like it's almost like like Schrodinger's cat mixed with Pandora's box, right? Because when you go to disprove it, you're gonna get converted. If there's something in your mind that says I need to go and I need to, without a shadow of a doubt, disprove this thing in the Bible, everybody that I've talked to who actually looks objectively at it ends up going, "Oh, like, holy cow, there's something to this. This is true." The references are there, the scientific evidence. I saw one video that broke down like an atom, and if you go to the structure of an atom, and if you look at it, it is actually a cross. And then what they said is that a new study shows that the DNA, it's not a double helix, it's the flower of life. If you've ever seen the flower of life, um, it's like four vesica Pisces, it looks like four footballs, and then it's this geometric pattern where they all kind of come around and it goes on and on and on and on. That's the structure of reality. That's the structure of our DNA. And so modern science is figuring out stuff that validates the Bible, but that, gets swept under the rug. They're not going to be reporting that. They want to report on all the other things that they're reporting on, the fires. Oh, whatever happened to Luigi, by the way? He got swept under the rug.
Yeah. Well, no, he's still out there, but people are really starting to see now that they're trying to ban TikTok, people are going on to Red Note. I forgot what the actual is, like the Chinese name of the app. They're going on there and they're seeing like Chinese people are their healthcare is a lot better, and that their lives are not like bleak. And because when you think of China as an American, you're thinking, oh, right, they're in a rice field somewhere, picking and trolling through mud with a water buffalo pulling a plow. You're not thinking of Chinese people living in an advanced society in the future. America has polluted your mind of what this country actually is, and then people are waking up to it and realizing it, like China is actually more advanced. But yeah, no, they're still spying on us, but it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, there's still, well, I think that Chinese spy balloon was an inside job. That's a whole nother podcast.
That was an American satellite.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's China. No, that's what a satellite looks like. Now we know. Soft disclosure. It's a weather balloon. Okay. But it's an Area 51 reference. But anyway, anyhow, you look at China, you look at all these other countries, and they have it better than us. Like you look at Russian subways. Do you think people are getting set on fire and killing each other in the subways in Russia? Like, of course not. They actually have an ordered society, and this is what a falling nation looks like, unfortunately. And it is crazy. I heard there was more entrepreneurs in China than there are in America, because what they figured out was, like, they're still a communist country, but they've adopted all these capitalist, economic policies, because they saw that their way of doing it wasn't working. All the other superpowers were overtaking them, right?
Yeah.
They figured out, well, we need to incentivize people to work. So there's more people that have two jobs and are making more money in their, relative to their, version of money, the Chinese yuan or whatever it's called, the yuan. They make more money than us if you have two jobs. If Americans have two jobs, you got two part-time jobs, right? And you're trying to make, equal one income for, one singular job that's has a good base pay. And
yeah.
So how come there's more entrepreneurs, there's more business in China, in Red China, than there is in the United States, where we're supposed to be the economic motor of the world,
Yeah, it's crazy because we really are in the matrix here. Everyone is asleep, and we're hooked up to the system that is.
Though they're not asleep.
Yeah. So I mean, there's really no way to escape this matrix. The only two ways I see it are Jesus and XRP. That's the only way you're going to escape the matrix. It's you wake up to the spiritual warfare that's been given to you while you accept Jesus, and then XRP is you invest to escape the financial warfare. Just right now the thing's sitting at like $3.20, $3.30. Monday it could go to $175. You don't know, and if that happens, so I mean, easy segue. We'll transition into that here with the XRP. As you most know, right now it's around $3.30, lingering between 3.40 and 3.20, but it's holding strong over $3. And Trump takes office Monday, and on January 20th, and then what's going to happen is, the SEC is going to drop their lawsuit. The ETFs are going to get approved. Trump's going to appoint a strategic crypto reserve with Bitcoin, XRP, and all these things are going to happen and they're going to come fall in place. And I don't think the price is just going to gradually increase. I don't think it's going to be $3, $4, $5, because if normal people see an investment growing that constant and that steadily, of course they're going to jump in and they're going to invest and they're going to throw all their money in it no matter what. And people believe, like, why would the elites want the normal successful person to benefit and profit? They don't. They don't want that. So the price is going to jump. It's going to price people out. So if that price goes up over $150, you know how many people are already priced out at $150? People won't throw $150 at something because once it hits that price, they're going to be like, oh, it's not going to move anywhere. It's not going to go anything. Then you're only going to have normal retail people back out. Then you're going to have institutions come in and be like, $150 is a steal. Institutions are going to come in and and then the price is going to jump again. It's going to go in the thousands. It's going to go surpass Ethereum. It's going to be over $5,000. It's going to surpass Bitcoin. It's going to be over $10,000. I mean, at that point, a normal person isn't going to in it, because think about it. Bitcoin right now is over $100,000. You're not, if you invest $10,000 in Bitcoin, you're not going to see any kind of real return. So unless you were in Bitcoin when it was like 50 cents, $5, you're not going to see any type of profit. So with XRP, they're going to do the same thing. The price is going to jump so high that normal people aren't going to be in it. It's just going to push regular people out. Sorry about that. I was getting a phone call.
That was the thought police trying to interrupt us.
Yeah, they're suppressing, actively trying to suppress, this coin because they're not talking about it. I mean, it's up over 400% over all these other coins, and they're not talking about it on mainstream media. They're not talking about it on these financial networks. But they're keeping it suppressed purposely because they don't want people to know about it. So Paul and I are talking about it because we are letting you know that this is a huge opportunity. So if you hold at least 1,000 coins of XRP, you'll be golden by 2030. You will be a millionaire for sure.
Yeah, and it sounds crazy to some people who can't really wrap their minds around it. Well, you're just saying like all I have to do is get in and do nothing and I'll be rich. Like, yeah, it's that simple. And these numbers that were thrown out there they're not crazy. If you do the fundamental analysis, the technical analysis of how the price action works, this is very possible.
Yeah.
So let me share my screen real quick. I have some stuff I wanted to show for this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me pull it up here. All right. Where'd you go? Can you see that chart?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So this is why Jarrell's saying it's going to go to $175, right? And you're going, well, that sounds nice. How do you know? Well, back in 2017, as you can see at the bottom of the screen down here, right? It was trading at less than a penny, okay? Less than a penny. A rumor came out that it was Bank of America was using XRP. It went from 0.2 of a penny all the way up to 40 cents, which is, I can't do the math in my head, but that's a big increase, right? That's a 400%, 400x or something like that.
Yeah. then
it stayed at, kind of waffled around back to 20 cents, 17 cents, back up to 20, and then boom, it went up to $3.84. It's not going to let me go all the way up there, but this is about $3.84. So from here, the 40-cent range, all the way up to $3, or really it was 17 cents when it popped off. So from 17 cents to $3.84, that's a 60,000% increase. So that's a 600x. Okay. Now, then the price comes down, because there was they decided to stop including Korean exchanges for some reason. That dropped the price. And this is back when the market was way more speculative than it even is now. So the price crashed, and then it kind of waffled around in the 30-cent range, 20 cent, touched 19 cents. This was after the lawsuit when the price was suppressed. When we say the price was suppressed, that means that the government went after XRP and Ripple. And even then, it went up to $1.90 back in April of 2021. I remember this is when, around the time I got in, I started buying in January, and I bought like $300 worth of XRP, and it immediately went from 41 cents to $1.90, and I'm thinking, oh, this is so easy. I just make money no matter what I do.
Mhm.
And then
Then the price suppression came in, and then you're like, no.
It didn't have the momentum because of the lawsuit, right? And then we have this long, many years of lawsuit, and then we come up to here, we have another bounce, and now we're at where we're at today was 314. So where I'm getting at is this, what they call a God candle. So this is a once in a lifetime event that can get you from being a regular wage slave all the way up to a millionaire if you position yourself properly. Well, look what's happening now. We have a little squiggle here, and then the big move, right? So we're basically in this the level we're at is this trading range, getting ready to pop off again. So if we go from a $3 XRP all the way up to, and we do the same movement that we did here, which is the 600X, yeah, you're looking at a $300 XRP for just one coin. You're looking at potentially $175 if you want to go from the bottom end, which is the 50-cent range before the election. So, and now, okay, well, that sounds good. It sounds like retail, in other words, your average Joes are buying it. That's good. The price is going to go up. But the banks haven't even gotten in yet. There's 100 billion XRP. There's really like 99 billion, 900 million, 99. That's really how much there is right now available. Well, if Trump puts in all of these regulations and actually creates clear guidelines, that way financial institutions can get involved. And remember, the XRP allows banks to pay each other more money faster for less money. If you have a tool that can do that, then it's going to be worth a lot of money. Banks want to use it. So on the day where Trump says any bank can use cryptocurrencies, well, what's their preferred cryptocurrency going to be? That's going to be the Ripple token, the XRP, because Ripple has all these partnerships with all these banks. They have former Treasury secretaries on their board of directors, former Federal Reserve directors, SEC directors. Their board of directors is like an all-star team of financial gurus, right?
And it's not just who they're partnered with. XRP itself is a better token than Bitcoin and Ethereum. The transactions take a few seconds, and within minutes you can transfer thousands and millions of dollars, and the gas fees are 0.001. So you're not paying like it costs $4 or $5 a transaction for to send one Ethereum token, and Ethereum is supposed to be better than Bitcoin, but with XRP it'll cost like less than a penny. So I mean, what are they going to use? Are they going to use something that costs them so much more money? No, they're going to use XRP.
Yep, and they're going to use it because it, like you say, it allows banks to pay each other faster for less cost. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, they're very expensive. They're very slow relative to what XRP and the XRP ledger is capable of. And then now I keep talking about Trump. Why would he pick XRP? There's all these other tokens out there that do the same thing, like XLM, like HBAR, like XDC. They're all basically, I wouldn't say cheap knockoffs because they're all space age technology. But then the question becomes, why would he pick it? Well, we would have to look for the signs. Okay, well, here's a sign. The CEO, Brad Garlinghouse of of Ripple, met Trump, and here's the CLO, the Chief Legal Officer, Stuart Alderati. Both of them met with Trump on January 7th, right?
Look at the green candles in the back.
Yeah, right. Very surreptitiously put green candles. Here's a green candle for you. They've not so subtly put green candles behind them, which might be comms, might be good juju or whatever, but I think they're signaling. And here's what's interesting is they got dinner with Trump, and Stuart Alderati said, and to top it off, the beef bourguignon was really good, which is a random thing to say. Well, yeah. Traditionally, in the late 19th century, during the height of the Industrial Revolution in France, it was, well, known custom among business magnates in Lyon that a dinner featuring beef bourguignon signified the successful closure of a deal. So he just happens to mention the one food that's associated to making a deal the day he meets Trump. Trump keeps saying maybe we'll pay off the debt with a little Bitcoin, and now he's expanded that to saying maybe we'll pay off the national debt with a crypto. I'll write a check for a crypto.
Yeah.
If we have a strategic Bitcoin reserve, if we have a strategic XRP reserve, and Trump puts in all of these guidelines, the Congress and the Senate approve because we have the most pro crypto, House and Senate as ever before. Trump is the first pro crypto president. You could be looking at a situation where the runway gets cleared for financial institutions to get in, and you, me, Joe, retail investor, we were able to front run the banks into a new technology for the first time ever. The old way of getting rich would be buying a stock cheap when it did its initial public offering, the IPO, and then you would hold it. You get in as much as you can. Hopefully you picked right, and you would hold it for 30 years as it accumulated in value or grew in value. And then that's how you made your money. Well, this was a different situation because Bitcoin got out there and the banks ignored it. They said, oh, it's just for, drugs and online, illegal activities and money laundering. No, cash is used for money laundering. Look at what the Biden administration is doing with all the foreign aid and all this sort of stuff. It has been used for illegal stuff, but not nearly at the level, Bitcoin that is, not nearly at the level that the dollar is used, right? Well,
yeah.
So they ignored it. They poo-pooed it. Eventually, they sued it. They sued the Ripple to try to slow them down and stop them, because these are all the Federal Reserve's entrenched bureaucrats and bought politicians trying to stop it. Well, it's a new day. The people's voice is being heard. And there's an old saying: is back when we had a money that actually had value, like gold-backed currency, people could vote with their dollar. So if I had all of my money in, let's just say, Bank of America, and then Bank of America, I found out, was doing something with some politician that I didn't like. They sponsored, I don't know, Chuck Schumer, and he was trying to do something bad. Well, I could say, well, I'm going to pull my money out of Bank of America. I'm not going to give them my business, if they're going to do stuff that I don't want. And you could vote in real time with your dollar. When they started creating funny money, the fake fiat currencies, that we have with the Federal Reserve, well, our money doesn't have value anymore. They can just print more if they need it. So our dollar is now, we're at a disadvantage, because as the money gets moved all the way up to the top, because trickle down economics is a lie that didn't work. You don't believe me? Go out and look at the streets of San Francisco, the streets of New York, streets of any major city, or just not on Main Street, on Wall Street, but also look on Main Street and all how troubled just your regular small town America is right now. They could print us into oblivion. We lost the power of our dollar, the power of our ability to vote with our money. Well, if we go to a real, and I know you're saying is crypto real? Yes, it is. It's a technology. Okay, you're tracking algorithms, and you can always see where they are no matter what. The dollar, it's very hard to track it. It's very expensive to move. If you send several pallets of it on a ship overseas, the ship can sink, which happens all the time. So there's a lot of risk associated to that, and it's very slow. It's actually, and this is true because I used to work in banking. Some banks, like if Bank of Bank of Holland wants to send Bank of New York a big loan for something, it can take up to 30 days for the money to actually arrive. It might actually be less expensive for them to put all of the piles of cash onto a plane and fly it to New York than it would be to use correspondent banking. With the XRP ledger, or any crypto ledger, I just think that the Ripple ledger, the XRP one, is going to be the preferred crypto for large financial institutions. All that counterparty risk is gone because you can just send it immediately at no cost, any amount of money anywhere for little to no cost. So I think Trump is going to use what's on your screen right now. I think Trump is going to work with the Ripple team to pay off the national debt and to switch our currency over to maybe not only XRP, it's going to be still be a dollar that we use, but on the back end, these big financial institutions are going to use this. And this, I'm going somewhere with this, and I'll let you jump in.
Yeah.
The day that Trump allows banks to custody crypto and buy their own legally, what happens to 100 billion XRP? It's going to be bought up like that. What does that mean for the XRP that you and me hold? Its value is going to go through the roof because it's so scarce now. So that moment is coming. When is what? That's the million, potentially $1 trillion question. Because I mean, if the ultimate use case for the Ripple ledger is that they're going to manage the derivatives market, in other words, all the money, the estimated total value of everything in the world is the derivatives market is like $4 quadrillion. It's a number so big that it's not. You can make the argument it's just a theoretical number. It's not even real. If they're going to move to a crypto-based, currency, or they're going to use Ripple XRP, Ripple and XRP, I should say, you're looking at a transfer of wealth, the likes of which has never been seen before. So all of this goes, glove in hand. Is we start looking at, the conspiracy theorists, which is, I think, like, I just call myself a truth seeker. I don't like being called a conspiracy theorist at this point. I just want to know what the truth is. We start looking at these things that are going on, these patterns, and we notice certain things about them, and it makes us, we can kind of see the matrix. We're like, this doesn't make any sense. What is this? And eventually, I would even pray back when I started to kind of like wake up in like 2013, 2014. I started going like, God, if you're going to give me all this knowledge about, the world and the machinations, the esoteric, how the government works, the esoteric nature of these secret organizations that run everything, like, can I at least make some money off of this? Like, nobody cares. When I talk about this, to my friends, I feel like a pariah at the party, and now what I'm thinking is this is the ultimate goal, is to fix the money. If you can fix the money, which Trump is a man of the people, and he's doing this, I think at this point it's, irrevocable that he is doing this for the good of the people, not for the good of himself. He wouldn't have lost $1 billion in, net worth since becoming president if he was doing this to get himself rich or for power or some arbitrary thing like that. We're here to fix the money and to take the bad guys out. And this is the end. This is the beginning of the end, or whatever you want to call it. This is the moment right before that happens. And in the next, he said he was going to have, Trump said he was going to have crypto policies put in place within his first 100 days of taking office. Okay, which means potentially banks will be allowed to buy in April, May timeframe at the latest. So you have until April or May to get your bag going. Like Jarrell said, like I always say, just get to 1,000 XRP. If you want to YOLO in and put all your money into it, not financial advice, but God bless, that's, full disclosure. I did that with my investments and my savings because I believe in this. But if not everybody has money readily available. It's very expensive now at $3. It used to be 20 cents, much easier to buy a lot. Just get to 1,000 XRP, because we looked at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the blueprint. If that can go to $100,000 just off of, people like us buying it, just regular Joes buying it, imagine what XRP can go to once the real money, the financial institutions get in. And this technology got out. The banks ignored it. People kept buying it up. There was no regulations for it, so the banks couldn't get in. So we could get in. It's the only time in history we've been able to front run the financial institutions. So call it luck, call it divine intervention, whatever. I don't care what you call it. It is what it is. This is the first time we've been able to front run the financial institutions. And based on the performance of XRP in the past, it's very possible that you could look at, this green candle here does the same thing right over here, except it's going to go way far off the screen up and to the right to a price that we can't even conceive of. Because if it's going to handle all the money, it has to be worth a lot of money, right? We're talking 10,000, 20, 50, 100.
To think about, most people don't understand what they're doing when they said they're going to create a crypto strategic reserve. America has strategic oil reserves, and they use that for all their oil, and so they don't depend on foreign oil. So if they create a strategic crypto reserve, that they're going to start buying up XRP in the billions, and of course that price, if it goes up to over $10,000, then they have enough to pay off the national debt right then and there. So I mean, you guys need to think about that, consider that, like, do the research. We provided you the materials. It's up to you right now whether you want to be a part of the future or remain in the past, because that ship is leaving the dock, and it's leaving pretty fast. And if you're not on it, you're going to be stuck on the shore.
Yeah. And the hard part of this is, and I've talked to people about this, and I'm sure we've talked about it, but it's like, the easy part is getting rich, right? Like, you just basically buy it, you sit there and wait. Once, like, if we do come into life-changing, generational wealth, then that's when the actual work begins. That's when you have to start building schools and churches, and that's when the hard work starts, but the real fun begins.
Yeah.
And I think that because the weirdest thing about the truth seeker conspiracy, Great Awakening, whatever you want to call it, the XRP has gone so hand in hand with that. I started, when I'm looking at the Bill Cooper and the Alex Jones stuff, I love Bill Cooper. Alex Jones, I'm like, he seems kind of, but some of his stuff is good, but some of it I think it's like an act, or like a, he gives me a bad name. You know what I mean? It's like, if I like metal music, and then there's, a band that's, is in effigy human sacrificing on stage. Oh, you like metal? It's like, no, I don't like that guy. Like, come on. So anyway, I'm not a big fan of Alex Jones, but he's part of the realm of conspiratorium, whatever you want to call it. You study all of that almost in like a silo, and then over here you start getting into cryptocurrency and researching that, and I was like, the Bitcoin's a scam, they're never going to use that, what the heck. Then you start researching XRP, and you're going, well, wait a minute, all of these people that are from the government, from these mega banking institutions, from the Federal Reserve, are all working for and with XRP. Or I keep saying XRP, I mean Ripple, the company. I apologize, but Ripple uses XRP, so all the partnerships with Ripple. Eventually, these timelines converge. You have the conspiracy theory people, you have the finance people, and then right now there's this weird thing blending where, I remember working in banks and saying, like, you talk to your coworkers, and they're like, yeah, the money's not real. It's just numbers on a screen. Just hit as long as it matches up, that's all that matters. We have those conversations when we're working. Everybody knows that it's just kind of like, almost like a high wire act. Like, we all know that the money's fake, but we still have to do the job anyway. Like, that can't last forever. So I think that God has put on my spirit, on yours, on our viewers, you put an inquiring spirit, an inquiring soul, someone that looks for knowledge, not from a way of power, because knowledge is power, but from a means to understand creation, to understand reality, to understand the problems put before us. Because if we don't understand it, how are we going to combat it? And if the money is the main problem, because we've, ever since 1913, our money's, well, it's really 1971 when we got off or 73 when we got off the gold standard, whatever it was Nixon. This solves that problem that's been afflicting us for 50 years, or longer than that. So this is our chance to end that. You cripple the money supply for the bad guys, we've got a whole new world. And I've never been more optimistic. We've done some podcasts where it's pretty depressing. We're talking about the horrible things happening to children by elites. We're talking about a million and one other topics we've covered.
Yeah.
But this one's an optimistic one, because we're winning, guys. It's darkest before the dawn. They're trying to burn down their own houses to hide the evidence of what they've done. They wouldn't be doing that if they felt really good about their means of survival. And I think that these bad people are going to be held accountable. I think that the money's going to get switched over. The wars are going to end. The good times are coming, and please, do research into this topic, because you can catch that wave of change. Even if it's $3 and you buy it, oh, it cost me $3,000 to get to 1,000 XRP. Okay, well, once it goes to $10,000, you're not going to care about that anymore, are you? Just because I was buying it, the lowest I ever bought was at 29 cents. I did buy 10 of them at 29 cents, right? That was the lowest I ever got in. But my average buying, I think, is like $2 over the course of, the 4 or 5 years that I've been doing this. That's just a lot of money, It's to build a position that I've had, which isn't big relative to a lot of these people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Think about it. There are people out there who have 100,000 XRP, 200,000, a million XRP, and they're really going to experience the difference of it. But those people have the money to afford it. But we're just like you. We don't make any money off this podcast. We do it for fun. We just talk to each other. It's just bros hanging out, and then we're inviting the world to listen into on our conversation, and we're just trying to impart some knowledge onto you guys. So that's enough about that. We don't want to beat a dead horse, so
it's very exciting.
At this point, either you're in or you're out.
Right. Well, all the guideposts are there that you would want to see. Like you were talking about earlier, we got ETFs coming in, we got legal regulations. The lawsuit's going to end because the SEC people that they're putting in. I think the guy's name is Paul Atkins.
Yeah, Paul Atkins.
He's going to replace Gary Gensler. He was tweeting about the Ripple lawsuit and the SEC lawsuit a while ago, so he knows exactly what's going on. He knows that it's a farce, and so there's and now Trump is actually meeting with the leadership board of the team. He's not meeting with Ethereum. He's not meeting with Hedera. He's not meeting with Stellar. Or Solana. He did meet with allegedly. I don't have proof of it right now, but he did meet with Charles Hoskinson, who runs Cardano. So these American cryptocurrencies are going to be used because it's a good. Trump is just at the end of the day, he's just a capitalist, and if you give him, and he's extremely pragmatic. If you give him an idea that works, he'll run with it. He'll go, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do it. So if this is, and he would be meeting with the people in charge of, the cryptocurrency that he's going to use. We have that verification. We have him talking about getting rid of Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, who attacked, Ripple with his fraudulent lawsuit. We have all these things happening that you would want to see, these guideposts. So I feel very validated, and why I'm so bold to talk about this subject and to let you guys know what I'm up to financially. Normally, you don't talk like that, with strangers on the internet. But if this reaches one person and they become financially independent, and then they can go and make the world a better place, it's worth it. So that's kind of the why as to why I want to talk about this subject. But yeah, with the XRP. We're almost at the finish line, and the funny thing is the finish line is a whole new course. I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart Double Dash lately, but it's a whole new course. We're almost at Rainbow Road. Okay, we're getting through all the other levels. We're almost at Rainbow Road, where everything gets supercharged. So we're almost there.
Yeah. Oh, and another note, the drones are still in full force. I don't know if you can see a lot of them where you are, but I see them they're out every single night. And they want people to know that they're there because, if you're going to put a stealthy ship, you wouldn't put, flashing green and red lights on it, So, they're out every night. I see them hundreds of drones. I was driving home from work yesterday, and, all the drones I saw it was all numerous. And then, I get down south, and you see all of them. They're heading towards the Air Force Base, and they're just out there in full force. So that hasn't stopped. So for all our listeners in other parts of the country, they're not just in Jersey. They're in Delaware. They're all over the eastern seaboard, and they're in full force. And they want you to know that they're there. They're not hiding it. And still the government's not coming out saying anything about them,
Yeah, I still don't know what the drones are. My opinion is if they were from another country, they would have been shot down by now. So,
yeah.
this is the most protected airspace with the most protected military and powerful military in history. They know exactly what's going on. They just don't want us to know about it, and they're almost flaunting it. The why and what they're doing it for, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Are they preventing bad guys from doing stuff? Are they monitoring us? I don't know. Maybe all of it together. But yeah, they never stop. They just got swept under the rug. Like Luigi Mangione got swept under the rug. The North Carolina swept under the rug. Now we have to only care about these poor celebrity zillionaires, who have 5 other houses. I mean, it's just crazy how this all works. And at the end of the day, it's all just noise because the rooster is home. He's going to get in on Monday, and when that happens, I don't. Again, I don't want to overpromise, but I'm of the opinion that a lot is going to change. A lot of bad people are going to go down, and it's going to be public, and it's going to be irrefutable. But as for right now, we're just observing it, just like you guys are, and I mean, I could not be more optimistic on what the future holds in terms of justice, stopping the theft of our wealth, and making our food healthy again. All these things are going to happen. They already banned what red dye #5 or whatever, that poison that they were putting in all of our food, that got banned the other day.
That's good. That's good because we've been slowly poisoned for years, and cancer's grown, and I've even been affected. I've gotten cancer, for some rare tumor that they can't even tell what caused it. So just be aware. Anyways, that's our episode for today, guys. We hit our time here, but we want to thank you for listening. Keep Jesus on your forefront. Keep God number one. Keep praying. Keep tuning in. We'll try to put out more of these. I spoke with War Within on his live the other night, Dr. Mike, and invited him onto the podcast. So we'll see if he'll want to join. And I do want to thank you guys again. It's been fun, and we'll see you on the next one. Adios, amigos.
See ya.